So today we're joined by Sam Birkin. Sam Birkin is somebody that we've sponsored who is we're going professional powerlifter?
Yeah, international powerlifting athlete now.
So I understated that, my apologies.
No, that's fine.
So tell us a little bit about powerlifting. What is powerlifting?
So powerlifting ultimately it's 3 lifts. So it's squat, which is a back squat, bench press and a deadlift. So in a competitive environment you get 3 attempts at each lift.
Okay.
And it's your heaviest attempt that goes towards your score. So competitive powerlifting, you'd obviously have 3 back squats, your score would be the highest one, same for the bench, same for the deadlift, and then your overall combined score is your competitive total. And that goes into effectively the leaderboard of any competition. So it's on paper it's just 9 lifts, but they're quite intense, and particularly when you're training. So training is typically 2 hours a day. Training, not every day. I do have some rest. So typically 4 to 5 days a week training.
Wow.
2 hours a day. But when you're in a competitive environment, it's the adrenaline. So it's managing that balance, which is why it can be quite a tough
I can imagine.
go. Yeah.
And how did you get into powerlifting?
I fell into it, literally. So I've always been quite strong. If you ask my husband, he will say she doesn't know her own strength. Break quite a lot of things around the house. But yeah, so I started CrossFit in 2015 and quickly discovered that Olympic lifting, absolutely loved the whole weightlifting element of it. I gave gymnastics a good bash, but wasn't particularly good. But like CrossFit, it was all right, kept me fit. Obviously COVID then happened, life takes over, change of job, and I sort of lost my way a little bit. And I went to an expo at the NEC and I just remember walking past this powerlifting rack with it all going off. I was like, what is that? That looks like a bit of me. Because my deadlift was strong at that point, my back squat was all right. I'd never bench pressed in my life. But I thought, yeah, that looks ace, I'm going to try that. And there's a lady at the gym that I've trained with for quite a few years now, Kelly Fazy. I was about to say an ex-GB powerlifter. She's actually just got back onto the GB team, which is phenomenal. But I spoke to her and was like, what do you think, Cal? And she said, I think you should give it a go. And she runs a local Sisters of Strength, empowering women to get into lifting, particularly lifting when you're a woman of a certain age. We all reach that sort of menopausal age where we have to think about osteoporosis, and there's such a lot now about weightlifting and how it supports your bones. So yeah, I gave it a go, and my first competition qualified for a regional comp, and then my first regional comp qualified for my first national, and then my first national qualified for my first international. So my biggest regret is not doing it back in 2015.
Imagine where you'd be, yeah.
I could have built a powerlifting career out of it for a few years, but things happen for a reason, and I had a really difficult 2025, and I think I needed that to focus and to concentrate and to give me something to sort of G me on a little bit and a bit of positivity.
So what year did you actually start powerlifting? Was that when?
December 2024.
So December 2024, and now you're about to go to the Commonwealth powerlifting.
Yeah.
In 2026.
Yeah.
But that's quick, that is, isn't it?
It is quick, and everyone, even when I listen back to the commentary of the national competition, it was a bit like, who's this? People have been doing it years, they're well known in the industry and within the sport, and the commentary was a bit like, and we've got Sam Birkin, and then it was only when I got to my deadlifts that they were like, she could contend for the British record. Like, who is she? Where did she
come out of nowhere.
Yeah. So it is overwhelming, and I still feel like I'm watching someone else do it. But yeah, it's good. It's exciting.
You're just watching the videos you're on when you're on. Is it called a stage?
Platform.
When you're on the platform.
Yeah.
I knew there's a word for it. I didn't know the word, but I didn't think it was going to be platform. But yeah, when you're up there, it must be so surreal to be there, to be actually lifting the weights that you're lifting, and also being around all these athletes.
Yeah.
I can imagine it's quite, especially in the space of 18 months.
Yeah, and some of them to be around, you know, that are well known, that are on Team GB, have been on the England team, you know, for the past 2 years in the previous Commonwealth. They've all got such a record. You know, I find myself Googling who they are, and because there's a ranking website where it puts you know, for your country, for the world, you know, and you can see where you rank, and you go on and you see the records of these people that you're on the platform with, and there's an element of competitiveness, of course there is. You know, any competitive sport, you think, oh, can I beat them? But it's also, oh my God, I'm lifting after them, or I'm lifting before them, and you know, they've got such a wealth of experience, and everyone's so lovely. What I will add is, you know, I've played competitive hockey, netball, not to obviously this standard, but you know, competitive sport all my life, and there's an element of, you know, sarcasm or people sort of backhanding each other, and in this sport you don't get it. In this sport, everyone is there to cheer each other on, to, you know, congratulate each other. You
That's
know,
lovely.
The person that came first when I came second to them, she came straight over and gave me a hug and was like, "Who are you? Where have you come from? That's incredible."
Oh.
And I was in awe of her because she's been doing it for years.
And she's a champion.
She's a champion, yeah. So she's British champion at bench. She's represented Britain and England all across the world, at least from 2016 onwards. So, you know, she's got 10 years on me.
And you've just finished second to her.
Yeah.
Amazing, that, isn't it? It's it's just so surreal. It's something that I can't imagine what that must feel like or be like.
Daunting, so daunting. But you know, as each day comes along, and you know, when you sit there, particularly in this weather, you think, oh God, I can't train today. I can't do this. I sit there and go, you've got to. You're going up there with your country. You know, you're representing England. You know, do you think the lads that are out in America right now that are representing England in the World Cup go, I can't be bothered today, it's too hot. Like, they're not going to, are they? So, you know, it has made me look at what I do, how I treat myself, putting training first, work-life balance. You know, I used to work so many hours and sacrifice the gym for work, and now I'm like, oh, I can't do that anymore. You know, and it's hard graft, but it's good at the same time.
So obviously your next thing. So September, you're in Canada.
Canada, Winnipeg, yeah.
Okay, so that's where the competition. That's where people from around the world are going to be competing in the Commonwealth Games. So what does that look like? What happens in there? I know you haven't been yet. So.
I haven't been yet, and I'm sort of learning off everyone else as I go along. And thank the Lord for Facebook, because there's a Facebook group with all the athletes on, and we all ask questions. So there's a provisional timetable as what the competition looks like. I think it starts on the 17th of September, and it's all done in different age categories, weight categories, male, female, and it's separated then from the 17th of September right through to the 27th, which is the closing ceremony. Just due to work and annual leave, I can't possibly be there for all of it. Obviously the cost as well.
Yeah.
So I've looked strategically on, you know, when to go out. So at the moment, unless anything changes, my day of competing is the 25th of September. I'm going to fly out 5 days before just to adjust to the time difference.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of days after being on a long haul flight, I don't want to feel sluggish or bloated.
Training, yeah.
Yeah. I've got to locate a gym actually, because I'm staying in an Airbnb. But yeah, get there. I've got a couple of athletes that are under my coach that are also at the Commonwealth, so I'm going to go and support them on the days that they're lifting. Other than that, I'll be training, eating well, drinking well, staying hydrated. That's the key thing to lifting, it's hydration. And then I'll be in camp for 2 days, so you have to stay in camp the day before you lift and the evening that you lift, and that's for drug testing purposes. So the federation is completely tested. There's no untested athletes, which is good, so we know we're all on an even playing field. So yeah, we'll lift on the 25th, and then I'm going to stay there for the closing ceremony, and enjoy the the banquet, the Commonwealth banquet. You can't go all
at the end.
Yeah, you can't go all that way and then not have a bit of fun at the end,
Absolutely
can you?
not. No.
Yeah.
So you've got to enjoy it while you're there, and hopefully enjoy the whole experience.
Just soak up that environment, and people from all over. Well, obviously people from the Commonwealth. So as long as nothing changes, I'll be lifting on the 25th, and then we'll come back the day after the closing ceremony on the 28th.
What is your, of the three, what's your most favourite one?
Deadlift. Yeah, I don't understand anatomy. I probably should. You've
only been doing this for a short period of time.
I know, but I don't understand why my body is good at deadlift. But of the three lifts, that's where my sort of key strength lies. And I just love the numbers going up. Like, I remember when I was doing CrossFit and the coach was like, everyone calls me Burks. Burks, you can't lift with the girls anymore. Go and lift with the lads. Just because you share a bar, you cycle the bar, and I was outlifting the women, so I went with the men. And then the men were like, "You're lifting more than me." So there's this competition. So in the end, I just had my own bar and was like, "Oh, okay.
I'll try myself." Then.
Yeah, I'll be on my own in the corner. And it was all jovial. Like, there was no bullying. But everyone now is like, "What's your deadlift now? What's your deadlift now?"
What do you lift in those three?
So at the last competition, my squat was 160 kilograms, bench was 80 kilograms, and my deadlift was 192.5 kilograms. So for my age and weight category, I currently own the West Midlands record for my deadlift. The British record is 225.5 kilograms. So I'm desperately trying to chase that. I would love to get over the 200 mark for a deadlift at the Commonwealth.
You just skipped over. You've got the West Midlands record for which one?
Deadlift.
For deadlift.
Yeah.
Just skipped over that one.
Sorry.
That's big. That's a big achievement. That is.
It is. So I held it previous to nationals, and then I beat my own record at nationals. I'm hoping at the next competition, which will be December after Commonwealths, that I can take the squat record. That's what I'm going for next.
What's the squat record?
It's currently 170.
And you're at?
160.
10 kilos. It's only 10 kilos, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as I keep training and not sacking it off. Yeah, I'm hoping, because I don't think, I need to look into it, it's all new. I don't think you can take a regional record out when you're outside the country. I think it has to be done at a divisional or regional comp. So yeah, that'll be the next one. But yeah, if I could get the British record for deadlift,
that'd be amazing. This
year or next would be incredible. So that's what I'm keeping that in my sight, as well as the competition level. We're
only relatively early in your journey as well, going to Commonwealth. Actually, at such an early point in your powerlifting career, if you like. So what will be the next point after? So we do the Commonwealth.
Do the Commonwealth. So then you have to do a qualifier to get to each level. So December will be a qualifier to hopefully get to Masters, which will be June next year. And then hopefully at that competition in June next year, if I tick all the boxes and they see potential in me, I'd love to get an invite to Team GB next year.
Wow. After a couple of years worth of this, and we're potentially looking at GB. That's really exciting. That is.
Yeah, and then that would be sort of Europeans sort of level competition. So I think the competition for GB this year is Lithuania. So it'll be whatever the equivalent is next year that I'll be aiming to go to.
Wow. And how many athletes go from, for the Commonwealth? How many athletes go in each age and weight category?
That's a really good question. There's normally, I think, a couple from each age and weight category. They tend to go with whoever places first or potential, I believe, from talking to people.
But so you're not there by yourself, and even potentially in your category, you might not be the only person.
No,
there.
So there's definitely me and one other that is in my age and weight category for representing Team GB. There's a fair few.
There's a lot. You're not there going by there yourself, thinking, I'm here by myself.
No, there's definitely a squad going, and there's the England manager and England coach. So we'll have those as well.
And just so obviously, I mentioned at the start that we've sponsored you. So what does the support that Unrudded has given you? What does that mean? What does that?
I can't thank you enough for contributing to the sponsorship. So powerlifting is a completely self-funded sport, as there are others out there, but there are no grants to sort of support athletes, particularly of an international level, and that's where the costs come in.
Yeah.
So what I've done is looked at the mandatory costs to get me to Canada and to compete and to represent my country. The extra days that I'm staying and the Airbnb, etc. aside, that's my choice. But the mandatory costs are it's in excess of £2,000. You then put into the fact that you've got training and food and everything else. It soon ramps up. I'm fortunate that my husband's coming with me, so there's that cost as well. But yeah, the mandatory costs, the support that Unrudded have given, it will cover my insurance. It will cover, well, I can tell you what it covers. It covers my 2 days in camp and it covers my insurance. Because again, I didn't even realise that I'd need sports insurance.
You don't consider these things, and actually, the one thing that I think a lot of people I've learned today is actually just because you're competing internationally doesn't mean that actually that you're supported with that. It's self-funded. It's
all self-funded, and don't get me wrong, there's subsidies there. So the kit, for example, that we have to pay for, the kit is cheaper than it would be online.
Yeah.
Our singlets that we have to wear to lift in. We have to pay for all of that. That's cheaper than it would normally be. So it is reduced, but you still,
it's not funded.
Absolutely, you still have to fund absolutely everything, and the generosity it just means that pressure is off a little bit. Because who has a pot of money sat there in case they get called up to represent their country?
It's not something that you normally just leave lying around. Just in case.
Especially in Canada. I booked the flights yesterday, and I was a bit like, they're quite expensive. So yeah, it just means the pressure is off a little bit. It means that I can continue to do what I love to do. With nutrition and food and everything. It's not like I'm going to have to take a back seat from that to fund the trip completely self-funded. So yeah, it's a massive help.
What would you say to any local business that was looking to support athletes or advertise with athletes like yourself?
That's a really good question. I mean, look, it's worth doing. I think even local football teams, everyone has a local sponsor, don't they? And I think for businesses now, it's really hard. It's really hard to get business. It's harder for salespeople to get that footfall over the door. Now it's the power of social media, and I think if you can back someone locally, particularly from almost like a selfless point of view, there is no strong correlation between your business and me powerlifting.
No.
But I'll now go out and shout about your business and thank you for your support and put it on social media and put it on different platforms. And I can't put it on my kit, but I've got obviously a t-shirt like this that's got England powerlifting on. Put your company logo on there so that it's in my training videos. I think when people then see your generosity as a business and the fact that from me personally, you're going to get nothing back from your sponsorship. It's free advertising.
Yeah.
My Instagram is small in number. It's growing, and I'm developing TikTok, but I'm nearly 40. TikTok doesn't come naturally to me. That is a growing number, but after today and when we share these on socials, that's going to hit sort of 500 plus people across my platform. That's going to be very different people to what's on your platform. So you're probably looking at I don't know, based on followers of yourselves, but you wouldn't get that from a local newspaper. I don't think they even exist anymore, but it's free advertising, it's supporting a local person, and it shows that your corporate and social responsibilities as a business, that you care. that you want to help, that you want to raise the profile of not just your business but someone that's in a competitive sport and going abroad to represent their country.
Yeah, and it's the shares that come with that as well. It's not just about what that profile's got and that profile's got. It's the shares that come as well, or the likes or the or whatever. So
your followers will share it, your friends will share it, my friends will share it. You know, and for me, when I was seeking sponsorship, I didn't want to just go out willy-nilly and ask for money. I wanted it to be people that I could help, people that I could showcase. If there was a correlation between me and that business, even better. Do you know what I mean? Because it then ticks boxes with other people in my sport or people at the gym, for example. But for me, it's keeping it local. You know, local businesses, local people I know that work there, that you can get something from it as well. From it as well. From it as well.
Good answer.
From it as well. From it as well.